What if I told you that the biggest threat to the American economy is now a trade war or a stock market crash, but a military conflict in the Middle East that could collapse the entire global financial system? Right now, former President Donald Trump is making bold threats about Iran, threatening to unleash devastation. But behind the political theater lies a terrifying economic reality that most people completely overlook. The US dollar's dominance as the world's reserve currency, the foundation of American economic power, is being quietly eroded by these very threats. And if a full-scale Iran war happens, it might be the final straw that breaks the dollar's supremacy. This isn't fearmonger, this is economic physics. Let me explain exactly how this works. To understand why an Iran war could collapse the dollar, you first need to understand how the dollar became the world's reserve currency in the first place. After World War II, the Bretton Woods Agreement established the dollar as the global currency backed by gold. When Nixon ended gold convertibility in 1971, the dollar became a fiat currency, meaning its value rests entirely on faith and trust. But here is the secret weapon that kept the dollar dominant, the petrodollar system. In 1974, Saudi Arabia agreed to price all oil sales in dollars, and every country in the world needs oil. This created artificial global demand for dollars, essentially forcing nations to hold massive dollar reserves just to buy energy. It's like a tax that every country pays without even realizing it. And it I did it.
Hey, Mr.
Frank Gunner.
Senator Trump's Iran policy. They're good. Understood from Iran policy. Like, to understand why an Iran war could collapse the dollar. At least first, as if gold became the world's reserve currency in the first place.
After World War II, the Bretton Woods Agreement established the dollar as the global currency, backed by gold. When Nixon ended gold convertibility in 1971, the dollar became a fiat currency, meaning its value rested entirely on faith and trust. But here is the secret weapon that kept the dollar dominant, the petrodollar system. In 1974, Saudi Arabia agreed to price all oil sales in dollars, and every country in the world needs oil. This created artificial global demand for dollars, essentially forcing nations to hold massive dollar reserves just to buy energy. It's like a tax that every country pays without even realizing it. And it has made America incredibly wealthy without producing much of anything tangible for decades. Now enter Trump's Iran policy. The strategy has been maximum pressure, using severe economic sanctions to strangulate Iran's economy and force concessions. The goal is to bring Iran to the negotiating table. But here is the critical flaw in this plan. Iran holds the world's fourth largest oil reserves and controls the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow waterway through which roughly 20% of global oil passes daily. Any military confrontation there would instantly disrupt global oil supplies, send prices skyrocketing, and create worldwide economic chaos. But differs an even bigger consequence that few are discussing. Countries around the world are already quietly building escape routes from dollar dependence. China and Russia completed their first oil trade without using dollars in 2022. Over 60 countries are currently exploring central bank digital currencies that could bypass the US financial system entirely. The BRICS nations, representing nearly half the world's population, are actively developing their own payment systems. In 2024, BRICS announced plans to create a new currency backed by gold and commodities to challenge dollar dominance. These efforts were already gaining momentum, but aggressive US foreign policy is accelerating them dramatically. The reason is surprisingly simple. When America threatens war, imposes sanctions, or weaponizes the dollar, other countries start asking a dangerous question. What if we can't rely on the dollar anymore? What if America freezes our assets or cuts us off from the global financial system? This fear is spreading faster than at any point in history. Saudi Arabia, America's closest Middle East ally, recently signaled that it might price oil in multiple currencies, not just dollars. That single possibility threatens to shatter the petrodollar system that has underpinned dollar dominance for 50 years. Now let me tell you about the silent crisis unfolding right now. Countries are dumping dollar assets at record rates. In 2023, foreign holdings of U.S. Treasury securities dropped by over $150 billion. Central banks worldwide are increasing their gold reserves at the fastest pace since the 1950s, with purchases exceeding 1,000 tons in each of the past 2 years. Gold doesn't carry political risk. It can't be sanctioned. It can't be frozen. As geopolitical tensions rise, more nations are turning to this ancient, safe to have an asset. The engagement question is out. What do you think will happen to the dollar's dominance if a major war breaks out in the Middle East? Will countries finally abandon the dollar entirely, or will fear keep them locked into the current system? Comment your thoughts below. Here is the terrifying truth that Wall Street doesn't want you to know. The dollar's status as the world reserve currency is not guaranteed forever. It has persisted for 80 years because America represented stability and reliability. But every threat of war, every sanctions regime, every act of economic coercion pushes other nations closer to the exit. The moment countries lose faith in American stability, the dollar begins to crumble, and unlike a stock market correction that recovers in months, a collapse of reserve currency status could take decades to reverse. You're watching history in real time. The question isn't whether the dollar's dominance will end, but how quickly it happens, and whether American leaders will realize too late that their own aggressive policies accelerated the decline of value. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more interesting videos.